Hi everyone, welcome back to Repatriate Patty. I'm your host Patty. In today's video, we are going to be talking about the red flag gun laws recently promoted by Kamala Harris at a visit in Parkland, Florida, where a tragic shooting occurred in 2018 with a solution to take away guns from legal gun owners, stripping away our Second Amendment rights. Let me get this straight. You allow millions of illegal immigrants to pour in through our border, people who have committed violent crimes, sex trafficking, drug smuggling, that are involved with gangs, to come to United States illegally and allow them to have guns. Yet you want to take away guns from law-abiding citizens under the pretext of a tragic event that occurred prior to push the woke left agenda on trying to take away guns from Americans. In today's video, we are going briefly talking about it, what the red flag gun laws actually mean, and why this is all part of a big plan from the woke left Democrats to take away gun owners' guns with the pretext of these laws. So let's talk about what the red flag gun laws really are. According to a statement from the White House, red flag laws generally create a civil process for law enforcement to seek a judicial order that a person is a danger to themselves or others and should temporarily lose the ability to purchase and possess firearms. Who are you to determine who is the right person and the wrong person to have firearms? We already need to get background checks, fingerprints, show our identification, and have proof that we legally purchased firearms. We cannot just buy guns illegally. So there's already that entire process in place that we as law-abiding citizens have to follow, while an illegal immigrant gets a gun illegally, and according to a judge's ruling that was promoted by Obama, now illegal immigrants can have guns. So we as law-abiding citizens have to go through an entire process, but illegal immigrants can have guns for free. And criminals that are roaming around in deep woke left states, they somehow have also access to guns, no problem, without any verification. Now, what happened in Parkland in Florida in 2018 is a tragic event. Anytime there is gun violence, especially when little children are involved, it is horrible. But let's look at the story of gun violence. She's talking about a shooting in high school, but she never talks about the fact that millions of illegal immigrants are coming to this country, killing people, committing crime. She never talks about the violent offenders and criminals, that the no cash bail of the woke left, and her policies of not punishing criminals. But she never talks about the criminals that stab, that shoot, loot buildings, that do robbery. So let's talk about this shooting, for example. Kamala Harris and the Biden administration promote millions of illegal immigrants to come across the border. They are violent offenders, criminals involved in drug smuggling, sex trafficking, MS-13 gangs. There are terrorists that are also coming across the border. And she doesn't talk about that violent crime, that now illegal immigrants can have guns in the United States. Nor she talks about the crime that is happening in the deep woke left states and cities, consisting of stabbings, looting, shootings, robberies, setting buildings on fire, killing police officers, killing innocent victims of these violent criminals. Yet she talks about a tragic shooting in a high school to peddle her own narrative instead of actually focusing on the problem here. The problem is mental illness. People that are normal people, like me and like you, that have the Second Amendment right to own guns, have it for own protection. No normal person takes their gun and shoots up a school or a mall or a building or anyone that is an innocent victim. Normal people don't do that. Mentally ill and sick people do that. So she is trying to push the woke left narrative of taking away our guns under the Second Amendment and basing that off of one tragic event. Of course, it's so sad that these poor little kids lost their lives. And anyone that is an innocent victim of a crime, my heart truly goes out to them because nobody deserves that. But let's recognize the difference here between spinning your own narrative by using feelings, emotions, and manipulation to push what you want, which is to take gun owners' rights away from them by determining who is a danger and who isn't. Who are you to determine what person is a danger and what person isn't? And that is based on your opinion. Everyone has different opinions. So now we're going to allow the government not only to control everything that we do, but now control your access to guns, or who is allowed and who isn't allowed to have a gun based on their opinion of who they think should have it and who they think shouldn't. We have a mental health issue in the society with the woke left and this administration pushing degeneracy. The woke left Democrats and this administration promotes mental illness. They are pushing for transgender, queer, LGBTQ, gay, lesbian, kids in schools having pride flags instead of American flags, kids reading sexual content textbooks at schools, kids attending drag queen events, kids attending rainbow parades. We have a few companies controlling the food supply that are putting in chemicals that are banned in Europe, dyes, artificial ingredients that all impacts your brain. They're not promoting healthy food, to eat meat, to eat eggs, to eat things that are actually healthy for you, but they're promoting you to eat cereal to save money on dinner. Eat cereal instead of chicken. This is the advice that was given to battle Joe Biden's Bidenomics inflation. We have kids that are spending hours on their cell phones, on social media, on different apps, following celebrities instead of being outside and playing. We have kids that are learning LGBTQ content and sex books in schools instead of teaching them reading, math, writing, science, biology. This is the society that's being created. Everyone talks about mental health. Mental health in this country is ruined because of the degeneracy of the woke left push of all of these ideologies on young kids, on young adults, and people overall. This is the real mental illness. And from that comes crime and violence. She isn't talking about millions of illegal immigrants who can have guns. She isn't talking about violent criminals and gang members that are doing all the crime across cities of the woke left Democrats. She is talking about taking away rights from gun owners based on a tragic event, spinning and manipulating the narrative to take away your guns. Our guns is the only protection that we have from everything that's happening around in the federal government. The right to own guns under our Second Amendment is the only difference America has over the world. Canada and Europe are ruined, and there is no way for people to defend themselves. This is the only right we have. And they want to make a point out of a tragic shooting to spin it around and make it seem like from lawful gun owners and citizens, they now have the right to determine who is and who isn't fit to have a gun. We all go through a rigorous process to be able to have our guns. So who are you to determine who can and cannot have one? I urge people to understand how important this is. This isn't about the Parkland shooting. This is about the fact that this administration wants to take away your guns. They want to limit what kind of guns you're able to purchase. And this starts out with one thing and leads to the next. It happens with everything. It isn't just to take away a certain gun. They will come for all of your guns at the end and all of your ammo and ban you from purchasing all different types of weapons. This is all to control the population under the Second Amendment. It is to take it away from you by using these shootings as examples done by mental illness individuals that they promote to then take away your Second Amendment right. This is extremely important because it is the only thing that we have left to defend ourselves with. We have millions of illegal immigrants that this administration allowed to come in with violent criminals. We have criminals in woke left Democrat states that are committing crime left and right with no cash bail policies and no repercussions for their actions. And now we have situations that are being used against us as lawful citizens that are responsible gun owners for the government to determine who is responsible and who isn't responsible or a threat to others with having guns. This is very important for people to recognize and understand that is another control from the government. They call it a red flag gun law. But what it actually means is they want to take guns away from lawful, abiding citizens that follow a process while themselves promoting mental illness and criminal activity that all leads eventually to them taking away your guns, which is the whole point and purpose of this. As always, thank you so much for watching. May God bless you and may God bless America. I will see you in my next episode.